Hey people, if you are bootstrapping or you don't want to spend money on subscription fees for using fancy software to collect data from web pages, aka web scraping or data mining, here's how you can do this quickly and easily. And like I said, without subscription fees. I'm going to show you very quickly how I do this, and if that looks like something you need to be doing as well, feel free to watch the entire video. And if not, at least stay hungry, stay hungry. Here we go. Et voila, there you have it. If you want to speed up things and you know what I'm doing, I provide the code file as a free download. Follow the link in the description of this video, and once you're on this added value page, scroll all the way down to the download link. I don't need your email address or whatsoever. I do like thumbs up and subscribing to my channel, and of course signing up on 5-Star Teachers as a student or as a teacher would mean the world to me. And if you're a really ambitious coder with the heart in the right place, check out this business idea that I would love to bring into life as well. charitycoders.com. And perhaps we can do this together. Alright, let me show you how I do it. For this example, we want to get the names of all the restaurants in Palo Alto, California, and their corresponding addresses and contact numbers from this page. But we don't want to do that manually. I will use a little HTML, CSS and jQuery. But don't worry if you don't know what that is. This is a video for absolute beginners. Anyone should be able to follow the exact steps and recreate exactly what I do. If you can copy things correctly, you're golden. Open the Web Inspector, Option Command I on a Mac, or simply right-click and choose Inspect Element. If you do this, you'll see how the content on this page has been structured. You can also click this target icon in Safari and then simply hover over the elements. Click et voila. There you have the HTML for that specific element. As you can see, this is a div element with the class attribute of v-card. Think of a div as a division, a container or a box with some stuff inside. We see that there are two divs inside, one with the class of media thumbnail, we don't need that, and one with the class info, and that's the one which holds the content we want to extract. But we need to drill down a bit further into the div with the classes info section and info primary. Then go inside the h2 or header 2 element, which contains an A element or a hyperlink element. And inside that link element there is a span element. And inside that is the text we want to capture. We'll come back to this in a minute when we're writing the code. We also want to go inside the div with the classes info section and info secondary. And inside that div we see a div with the classes phones, phone primary, which contains the phone number that we want to extract. There is also a sibling or brother or sister element with the class ADR, which holds two more divs, one with the class street address and another with the class locality. We'll have to combine these two divs to get the complete address we want to extract. And usually That is the same structure for all cards you see on websites like these. So now we need to write some code to extract all that info and paste it in our spreadsheet. For this, we're using jQuery, which is a JavaScript library that is easier to read, use and learn than vanilla JavaScript. I use Sublime Text 2 on a Mac and also BBEdit. You can use Notepad++ on a PC, and there are lots of free editors out there that you can use for this. Just don't use Pages or Microsoft Word, that simply won't work. As you can see, I chose not to write this code during the video, because it's not about me showing you how good a coder I am, it's about helping you save precious time and helping you understand how it all works. Wouldn't you agree? So the three things we need to collect for each of the vCards are the name, the phone number and the address. By the way, this is how you write comments in your code. We are going to create an array for each of these three. The simplest way to understand or visualize an array is to think of it as a container that contains a list of stuff. We can give our array a name just like you would name your child. It can be Bob or Mindy or whatever you want it to be, but I recommend to start your array name with a letter. So for our purpose, we are going to call them array names, the list of names we extracted, array phone numbers and array addresses. And to declare an array, you must use the name of the array, followed by a space, an equal sign, a space, square brackets, and close off with the semicolon. Until here in our code, these arrays are empty. Now we need to write the code to grab all the relevant data and push it into one of these arrays. That's the point of creating the arrays. And later on, we're going to copy the content of the arrays and paste it in our spreadsheet. So what happens here? The $sign is used to target the jQuery method, which allows us to use jQuery and all its functions. Mostly, we will be querying the DOM. In simple terms, this means searching the HTML structure for stuff. Many web pages load jQuery by default because it's so popular. But if it isn't loaded, you will get an error. But don't worry, I have a fix for that. I'll explain that in another video called Loading jQuery for Data Scraping Without Subscription Software for Absolute Beginners. This code drills down to the span element, just like we've done previously in this video. First, we find the div with the class vCard. That contains a div with two classes, InfoSection and InfoPrimary. Note that a class in CSS and jQuery is preceded by a period sign, the dot, a full stop. This means that multiple HTML elements can share the same class name. And that is exactly what we want because there are so many vCards on this page. And an ID is preceded by a pound sign. An ID is unique. There should be only one of its kind in the entire HTML document. Both the class and the ID are attributes of an element. When you see that there is no space between the dot InfoSection and the dot InfoPrimary, it means that this div must have both classes to match our query. Okay? We drill down further and look for the H2 element. The greater than sign indicates that the A element is a direct child of the H2 element. If there is just a space between these classes, like here for example, it can be anywhere in the downward structure of that HTML element. As you can see, the A element is also followed by the greater than sign, and that means that the span element is a direct child of the A element. Now that we have defined the exact query we are looking for, we need to perform an action, and that is going to be an each function. This simply means that for each of these matching search queries that resulted in a span, we want to do something. Okay? What we need to do is push it in the array called array names. Pushing means adding it to the end of our list, i.e., our array names. What we are going to push is the text of this element. This refers to the span element that was found. And in this case, that's going to be Garden Fresh. Now we close off our query and we run a console.log function to print out the list called array names in the console. This means all the names of the restaurants that were found using this very specific query. And it's exactly the same process for the array phone numbers. And because the full address is split between two divs, street address and locality, we first need to capture each of them in a temporary variable, and then concatenate or combine these variables in a third temporary variable. As you can see, I gave my variables a complete ludicrous name just to show you that you can name a variable whatever you want. And from there, it's the same thing as with the array names and the array phone numbers. Now all we need to do now is copy the code and paste it in the console. If there is stuff in the console, just click the trash bin icon and then paste it. Hit enter and voila, there you have it. Now if you twirl this down, right click this list icon here and choose copy selected. Pasting that in numbers won't work right away. You have to treat it a little. So paste it in a blank text document like in BBEdit. And what I like to do is to get rid of the log info at the top and the prototype at the bottom. And now do shortcut Command F and replace all the quotation marks with a semicolon. Select all and copy, and finally paste them in a blank number sheet. Boom. And we can do this with the other results too. Twirl this one down, right click, copy selected, paste in BBEdit, remove the top and the bottom info, Command F, replace all, Command A to select all, Command C to copy, go to numbers and paste. Now for the last one, it's a bit tricky. We must adjust the import settings to only use the semicolon as the separator. Boom. And there you have your data. Clean it up and present it to your boss, or start calling if you're in sales. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment if this video was valuable to you or if you have any questions. My name is Davido Van Oot, founder and CEO of 5starteachers.net. Go check it out. It's all about transferring massive amounts of value. And if you consider yourself a 5-star teacher as well, for whichever kind of subject, sign up as a teacher to become a 5-star teacher on our platform and earn a living from wherever you are in the world by doing what you love doing most. Stay hungry, stay curious, check you later. This video is brought to you by 5starteachers.net, the one-stop education marketplace for one-to-one learning via screen sharing, and made by yours truly.